and welcome to the Chroma side of YouTube. So, what are you doing today? I mean, oh my goodness, this is like a week of weird things to paint, but here we go. This is a gourd that I purchased at a flea market for $2. Hear that? That means that this gourd is completely dried on the inside and is ready to decorate and paint. However, you do have to wash this. So I will be washing this with Dawn dishwashing liquid and a little bit, I'll put a little bit of Clorox bleach on there just to make sure it's completely clean. And then when I get done with this, I'm actually going to paint it first. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I've never painted one of these before, but I do have a drill bit to drill a hole in there and clean out the insides. And then I will be putting, drilling a hole through this part and this part so that I can lace a chain through with a lobster claw here, so that when the person that I'm going to give this to hangs it in the tree, she can put the chain around the branch and this will not fall out of the tree. But I did make sure I got one with a hook on the end so that she could hang this on a small branch. It's going to become a birdhouse. So I'm really excited about that. Not sure what colors I'm going to mix up for this, but I'm thinking I might want to keep it neutral tones simply because it's going to hang outside. It's going to be a birdhouse, and I don't want them to be off-put by the bright colors. So I might use greens and maybe blues. I'm going to have to look into that. I am not wanting to paint the entire thing with pour. I do want to pour on it and let it run down, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is painting gesso, white gesso on this, just to give me a white background and also so that the whole thing is covered in paint, because I do like a full coverage. So I'm going to wash this, let it dry, paint a little gesso on it and let that dry. And I've got some other projects that I'm working on right now that I will be doing in between. So it will all of these things will be drying and doing their thing in between each video. So I'm going to get to work. I'm going to go ahead and wash this, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay guys, so in the process of washing this, I just wanted to show you, it's still wet. The skin, I guess you would call it, started coming off. And I don't know if that's actually supposed to happen or not, but I'm going to try and get as much of this off as I can before I paint it. I do not want this skin to lift while my paint is wet on this gourd. And this seems to be prettier underneath. Also, with the fact that it's a lot smoother. So, I don't know if you're supposed to maybe soak them and let them let the skin absorb into the water so that you can peel this skin off, but it seems to be coming off with my fingernails here. So I'm going to do a little research in just a second and see if you're supposed to do this, or to see if you're just supposed to leave it alone. I don't know. But like I said, I don't want this to lift with my paint on the gourd. So, if any of you know anything about cleaning gourds for crafts or painting, feel free to let me know. Look, it's a lot coming off here. It seems like the dark spots are what's coming up. So, I'm going to sit here and work on this, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, so I have this nice and cleaned and sanded. You can see where the coloration used to look like this, and now it's this really pretty brown, light brown hue, which is cool. I also sanded up onto the stock here a little bit to show both colors. I am not going to paint this part. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some painter's tape and put me a line of demarcation right here. Maybe down a little further, maybe like right here. And then I'm going to paint all of this with white gesso and find a way to like set it like this, so that it can dry while I'm getting ready for one of my other videos that I'm working on. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my white gesso and my painter's tape. Paintbrush, I just got a big one this time. Creates a matte white surface. You know, I think I want to use this one, the Artist Loft, instead of the Dollar and Ronnie, because I feel like I want ooh, gosh, that's hard to open. Anyway, well, that's interesting. What's going on here? Oh, a little film going on. Well, let's get that out of there. I've got like 3 jugs of Floetrol in my mother's trunk because I happened to see them while we were at Home Depot one day. And I was like, I need to buy those, because anytime I see Floetrol jugs, I'm all, let's buy them. There we go. Now, I know that's a little close for you guys, but I just wanted to go ahead and have them up and in the what's it called? In the setup where I'm going to let it dry. And I'm going to try and paint this on as smooth as possible. You know what I forgot to do? Forgot to tape off where I wanted to stop with the gesso. Well, maybe I still have time for that. I like this little clamp setup I got going on here. I think I want to stop it about right there. So I'm going to rip that tape. Take my scissors. I'm going to snip some snips in there so that it curves with the roundness of my gourd here. There we go. Well, not that much. About right there. And again, take my scissors, put a few snips in that tape so that it tapes down to my gourd. There. Now I know that's like a super rough line, but honestly this is going to hang outside in someone's garden, so I'm not too worried about it. And like I said, I'm going to try and get this as smooth as I can. So gesso just basically prepares your surface to accept the paint and give you a nice solid background for the paint to colorize. So basically what you're doing is you're making your colors look truer to what is on the bottle. Because we all know if you put if you put yellow on a green surface, it's going to look green. Or more green than you anticipate. So what we want to do here is kind of mute out the gourd color and get this surface ready for our pour. Now I'm thinking I might put you guys up high in my little setup here and put a string on my little thing here and hang the gourd with string and tape in order to pour and let it run down the gourd. Okay. So that is now got gesso on it and it's nice and smooth. And you know what I think I want to do? I think I want to dip this brush down in the gesso, like all the way down in there. Pull it up, get most of it off. And then I think I want to hang this out to dry and then alter it with my mixed media later. See? Like that. So now it has gesso in there, so when it dries, it's going to be hard, which is cool. Alright, so I'm going to leave this to dry, and then I'm going to go and get set up for my other video. Alrighty guys, I am back. And I actually have this weird rig going on. I took some string and I tied it around the handle of my gourd, like so. And the reason why is because I'm going to let this dry hanging so that there's no places where it sits in the paint. Also, the natural gravity is going to pull the design down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a larger cup. Oh, hold on guys. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry, my mom calls me from time to time. Anyway, so I have it rigged. I want the natural paint pattern to go. Now what I'm going to do is, how I'm going to do this is because I definitely want the bottom of the gourd to be painted as well. I'm actually going to go grab, I'm going to grab this cup here. I'm going to pour 2 cups of paint. Now, I only have 4 ounces mixed. This is a 5-ounce cup. So I have 2 cups ready to go. I'm going to do 2 different cups because I'm going to pour the bottom first so that there is actual paint on there. And then I'm going to pour along the top and let the paint run down. So let's get to it. Now, what colors do I have? I have Dollar and Ronnie Process Cyan. I have Blacrylic Phthalo Green. I have Blacrylic Green Oxide. And I have Blacrylic Deep Yellow. And I was going for more outside colors, colors you see in the wild, in nature. But I've just realized, because when I was moving this gourd around to show you all what I did, that the strings actually slid off. So I'm actually going to take some of my tape here and secure that string, which, never fear, tape always comes off, so it's all good. I'm going to secure that string onto the gourd so that I have freedom to move it around without the string slipping and then me messing it up. The reason why I want it to hang as well is because I want this natural part of the handle here. I want that natural color there, so it's no mistaking. It is a gourd, but it's just painted down here. I don't know why, but I love this. I think this is very beautiful. Alright, here we go. I did not add water. Let me get up here and see what all you guys can see. So I did not add water to this paint. I only added Floetrol. 1 part paint, 1 part Floetrol. Or I'm sorry, 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol. I want it thick because I don't want the colors to go muddy. No rhyme or reason as to how I'm adding this paint in. I'm just adding it in gradually. So now I have my 2 cups. As you can see, they're not full at all, but that's okay. So this here is going to be the bottom. So I'm just going to turn it and go ahead and pour some paint on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and start pouring on the actual gourd itself with this paint. However the design comes out, I'm going to go with it, basically.
Turn the gourd. Try not to get my pinky fingers on it. I'm just using what's on the table to fill in the spots that did not get covered.
So I have a little rubbing alcohol right here that I keep next to me when I do my painting, and I don't want the color on the gourd, so I'm actually going to wipe off the color that I touched the gourd with my alcohol, so that it's not on there, because like I said, I want this to stay natural. I really love this spot here, and I'm going to show you guys in just a second when I get done cleaning up the gourd handle where I've touched the gourd with my painty hands. And I'm going to double check right here, there's no paint, so I'm going to touch that a little bit. And now, because all this got muddy, because I had to use extras from the other side, I'm actually going to take my Vallejo Mars Yellow. I'm just going to put a little squirt on there and see what happens. Because this is runny paint, I think it'll be okay. Because I want a little yellow on there. And then I'm going, because I added that paint and it's not looking natural to the pour, I'm actually going to add a little bit of this paint back on and let it run into that color. And we'll see what happens. All of this is experimental. And now, I'm going to check the bottom of the gourd down here. Yes, it's looking cool. So I'm going to let that drip for a little while, and then I might try to take my finger and smooth out what's going on. But while we're doing that, letting it drip, I am going to hit it with my torch, and let's see what happens. I'm not too worried about how crazy this part looks because that is where I'm going to put the hole. I'm hoping it'll hang more like this in the tree, and I'm going to put the hole on this side. So I'm kind of hoping that it hangs a little prettier in the tree. And then, like I said earlier in the video, my plan is just like that. Beautiful. My plan is to actually drill a hole through this and this here and put a chain here so that it can be secured to the tree without falling whenever something goes in and out. So let me take you guys down and give you guys a closer look of this. Remember, this doesn't look like it is, this is going to be a straight line, and this handle here is going to be left in its natural state. Of course, I'm going to polish it with the polyacrylic that I have. But let's go ahead and give you guys a look. Okay, so this is my setup. That's what it looks like. Now, let's take a look at this here. Look at that. I'm glad I added the yellow because there was no contrast on this side whatsoever. You can see where it's still dripping, and it is very thick because I wanted it to stay on the gourd, and over the next couple of hours it's going to continue to drip because it is, you know, of course, gravity, but it's going to just make it look cooler and cooler and cooler. Now over here is my favorite part. Look at that. And I'm actually going to try and turn it to get some of that shadow off. Check that out, guys. That is beautiful. It looks like 3 or 4, hold on, sorry. I'm gonna shift, nope, shift this way. Oh, better, hold on. Look at that. Much better. Now you guys can see what I'm seeing. Alright, so this is my favorite side. It looks beautiful. I love how the blues and everything happen. And then that's where I added the yellow in after I poured because I wasn't getting much of a contrast. Let's turn it this way. Look how pretty. Oh, I'm so excited. Alright, I'm going to stop moving it now because I don't want to mess up that design on that one side. Anyway, so I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Like I said, you guys can see the dripping. It's going to drip for a good bit after this, and that's okay because that's the reason why I made my paint much thicker than I usually would. Let's see, if I touch this spot, what is going on here? Even out. So I just touched it quite a bit, and I don't like it. So, see if I can get some paint. And I'm sorry, you guys, for shaky cam productions, but this is the best way I could think of in my setup to show you how I do this, or how I was going to do this, or planned on doing this. I'm just going to let that run down, kind of create a drip. Gravity will pull this down, so I'm not too worried about anything that's uneven or drippy or whatever. And also, don't forget, this is going outside. It's not like it's going to hang in a gallery or anything like that. This is going outside. It's going to go in a tree for a home for a bird. So, you guys get the gist. I will definitely try to remember to show you this when I get done sealing it with the polyacrylic. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun doing this, honestly. This was great. I felt great. You see how that right there has evened out where I added the paint and all that jazz. Let me see if I can't focus it. Up there it goes. And it actually made it look cooler. So I am going to hit this one more time with the torch now that the paint's spread out a little bit more. But as you can see, you can get the gist of what I was going for, and I'm very happy with this pour. If you guys ever want to get in touch with me, please feel free to hit me up at www.chromostormarts1.com, or you can hit me in my email at www.chromostormarts@gmail.com. If you have questions, if you just want to say hi, anything else like that, if you have any color suggestions or anything that you want to see done, please feel free to do that. And I hope you guys were all inspired. I hope you guys want to run out and do something fun and epically cool. Find something unusual you haven't seen someone pour on, and do it. Just go out and do it. That's the only way you're going to get some experience and learn the ins and outs. I hope you guys have a very wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.